Please note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
I've done what felt right. It just feels like
the world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!
stay cheesy. I love that video. One more sound. All right. How's it going, ticketies? My beautiful starflies. Oh, man. So today, this episode is fucked. I purposely wore this outfit because it's going to get a little blue. And, man, this sucks. It all really started with the Speaker of the House issue. As this, carnival cavalcade of chaos moves amongst us, and we look at this KKK fucking right-wing government who basically just are no longer afraid to say the quiet part out loud. And that's the scary thing, is that we've gotten to that point. So today we're, like I said, this is going to be a little difficult because there's a lot of mature content in here. And so there's a lot of mature content in this. And so we're going to start off with something a little lighter to try to, slowly progress into absolute darkness and horrible activities by disgusting people. So we have a government that is no longer afraid to tell us that they are full-blown white supremacists. We have politicians that are just like all in and doubling down on their racism, thinking this fringe group of people is the majority. Now, that puts us in a very, precarious situation, and puts the country in a very scary position. And so for the Speaker of the House, we literally have a douche and a turd sandwich, but Jim Jordan is evil enough that, Scalise is now he got the nomination, which was great because it was a nice fuck you to Trump, since Trump had endorsed Jim Jordan. However, when it just comes to Ohio, it seems like it's just a cesspool of disgusting people, not in the city, but in the political realm. So Jim Jordan is disgusting enough. The other guy, Scalise, is a self-proclaimed Nazi that has compared himself to David Duke. He's not ashamed to say that he tried to overthrow an election. These are election-denying idiots, and just the fact that all that Trump did for his endorsement was talk about he doesn't wear a fucking jacket. It shows that Trump endorses whoever the fuck licks his balls, and as long as you lick his balls, he's gonna kind of throw you a bone, but he's probably going to eat the bone first and then give you whatever scraps is left. That's the kind of person that you've decided to stand behind. and it's fucking terrifying. And we have on the other side, you have Jim Jordan, who's a goddamn assistant pedophile. Now, the accusations of what he was doing in Ohio State, to me, are just as disgusting as anything that his, his boss, Dr. Strauss, was doing. Now, Dr. Strauss, Dick Strauss, would shower with these kids and all this shit. We're going to get to that. But I want to show you just the overall tone of Ohio, it seems, when it comes to the right wing. We're not talking about Ohioans. We're Illinoisans. We're right next to you. We tend to be pretty much the same kind of people. So I'm really sorry you guys have to put up with this shit right over here. I mean, that's fucking goddamn it. So, yeah, let's hear him out and listen to his absolute hysterical bullshit.
If a 10-year-old were raped and she
can legally have an abortion today.
Yeah, but you're trying to end that.
Yeah.
So how? So
okay,
okay,
we're not there.
But so how would that work in your society then? If a 10-year-old has a kid and there's no abortion allowed, how would you justify?
We would help her, actually. Make sure
you're going to help a 10-year-old have a child.
No, we would make sure she would have access to health care, mental health care. We make sure the horrible, heinous individual who did that horrible crime was arrested.
Right, and none of these things focus on the actual problem. The problem is we have a baby inside of a 10-year-old, okay? That's the problem. It's not what's in her fucking head. It's what's in her fucking ovaries, you fucking moron. But please continue.
But how would a 10-year-old be allowed, how would a 10-year-old be suited to have a...
I don't know. That's why we have great medical care in our state.
Ohio is ranked 37th in the country for overall health.
Wow. Okay. So that again is just the overall idiocy behind the right. Now, as you can tell, he had no answers. He had no policy. He had no fucking clue how they would handle such a situation. And this is what happens when you have dumb, bipartisan, very lack of detailed, stupid assumptions and conspiracies. And you let these motherfuckers run shit. They don't have answers. All they want to do is tear shit down. They don't know how to rebuild it. You can't do that, okay? The whole point of someone that's great at destruction is to have someone that's great at reconstruction. Okay. So in this case, we're just watching a guy literally say, I have no fucking idea what we would do. I guess we would let her have he basically was saying we'd give her the best medical care. Okay, but you didn't say you're taking the baby out or what the fuck you're going to do. You're going to coach her into having a kid at 10 years old? Well, no, but we'd make sure, this is the shit I'm talking about. Why would anyone want a government that is not prepared for anything? Okay, this is what the right is. We don't have any ideas, but we know how to shit on everything. That is not helping. Okay, there's helping and there's hurting. All they do is hurt. Continue.
A slight improvement from a ranking of 38 in 2019, according to America's Health Rankings 2022 annual report. This includes high prevalence of frequent mental distress among Ohio's health challenges. So there's that. Makes you wonder what other info he would misrepresent. The opening clip showed attorney and president of Ohio Right to Life, Michael Ganadakis, being confronted by the Ohio Rooster, DJ Byrne. It was recorded a few weeks before Ohio's special election, which was banned less than a year before it actually took place, until the GOP tried to use one to preserve an abortion ban, which was defeated. More on this in a second.
We don't need that. So this is the kind of crap we're dealing with. This kind of insanity that makes no fucking sense and has no preparation or ideas of critical thinking skills. Now, this is the exact kind of person they want us to be. And it's funny how it's like, no, it seems like it just worked on you guys, not on us, because we understand what smells like bullshit and we know how to walk away from it. Seems like you guys flock to it rather than doing anything actually, productive. Because again, they don't have anything productive. They only have destructive. And that's it. So, all right, let's get into it with Jim Jordan. So this sick motherfucker, let me try to break this down as realistic as possible. I'm gonna give you as many facts as I can. This shit ended up giving me nightmares having to fucking do enough research to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. And so we have Jim Jordan here, who is friends with Dick Strauss, like I told you. Now, from 1979 till about 1997, Ohio State University had Richard Strauss, a Chicago-born physician. He was born here, but we threw his ass out. All right, so don't blame us. Don't blame us. So he's a Chicago-born fucking idiot, and then he sexually assaulted and abused over 350 students. This is a roundabout number, and this is just a number that we know of is 350. So obviously those numbers are always inaccurate, and usually they're pretty conservative numbers compared to what they actually are. Now, they did the same thing like in Iraq during the war. They would tell us, I think they admitted to about 50,000 dead Iraqis when actually there was over 1 million. So you have Jim Jordan, who is a assistant to Dick Strauss. And so after this molestation of over 200 students that were documented, and 350 overall trying to press charges and get whatever they can get done. The pattern, this just shows a complete pattern of behavior, and also shows prior experience. You do not rape 177 kids. You probably raped more than 400. It shows that you've been doing this a long fucking time. And when you have an assistant that doesn't know about it, yet everyone else in Ohio State said they all had talked to Strauss about this, saying, dude, you're going to see later one guy actually saying, hey, Doc, why are you showering with the kids? Oh, well, you guys do it. Yeah, not for a fucking hour. So, in 2006, he commits suicide because this fucking coward knew he was going to get caught, and it was about time. I mean, this is how the system works. The sad thing is that this motherfucker was written up in 1979. His first year, he was already written up. A guy had already come through, had already tried to testify against him and was saying he's being raped. And so there's, in this whole case, they have student A, student B, and it's just incredible how this coward gets to kill himself to avoid the prosecution. And I'll bet you $1 million a MAGA will call it persecution. Yeah, right, because we don't want to persecute pedophiles, right? Leave them alone. They're good people, right? They have the best candy. So you had a great guy named Adam Isabato, a former Hall of Fame wrestler at Ohio State. And luckily, his notoriety helped bring more attention to it. But it was his brother that actually started the case. And so we're going to hear from him as well. Now, Jim Jordan was the assistant coach from 1987, the year I was born, until 1995. So you're telling me you were there for the bulk of his career and you didn't know that there were 350 kids that had already reported this shit? That simply makes absolutely no sense. So, Representative Jordan is adamantly denying claims that he knew about the sexual assault. Multiple former university coaches even talk about it.
It's public knowledge. I mean, everyone knew within the athletic department that Doc was a serial groper at best.
Richard Strauss, who's accused of groping athletes during appointments. Strauss died in 2005 at the age of 67. Now, like I said, I already told you he killed himself. Now, what's funny and it's just an odd coincidence, he actually happened to get his degree from the same place in Michigan that another famous pedophile in sports medicine who was killed in prison. If you know what I'm talking about, yeah, he got the same degree at the same place.
I did know Dr. Strauss. He was, he was there when we got to Ohio State, and was continuing to work at Ohio State once I left.
Do you believe he knew?
I love that. Did you notice he doesn't say a damn thing? He won't say a damn thing. It's because he's got nothing. He knows he's got nothing to say because he assisted in this disgusting shit. So whether or not he assisted, whether or not, it doesn't matter. You know that he knows something that he didn't want to talk about. And to me, that's just as guilty as anything else. So now we're actually going to hear from that athlete. And this is where the blue stuff comes in. And it's going to get a little difficult to watch. If you're easily cringed, then looks like you're going to have to fuck off and let the big people watch it. Okay?
My name is Adam DeSabato. I was a wrestler at Ohio State from 1988 through 93. I was captain of the team, which is in question with a lot of these allegations and what was going on for 4 of those final years. So I'm very disgusted in the way this has been handled. I've had my teammates call me crying. I've had former coaches ignore me at tournaments I coach. I'm a coach. This is not the attire I wear every day. I coach kids. And what they did to kids is awful. I would never let that happen to any of my kids. And the university backed them up. I went to Russ Hellickson. I went to Jim Jordan. I went to them as a captain, begging them to do something. They did nothing. They told me they went to their superiors. Their superiors told them to be happy where we're at, keep our mouths shut. That was Archie Griffin. Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman winner, who a lot of us idolized, and the reason we went to Ohio State, he was our AD at the time.
Assistant director. Now, what I want to mention right there is that's tragic. Can you imagine? I'm a musician, for instance, and I was mentored by a teacher that I loved very dearly, and I'd even make his coffee. He put me in the music world, and I never looked back. And I had so much privilege to have had a teacher that gave a fuck about me and not just my grade or anything like that. He gave a fuck about me. And he was my mentor. I worshiped this guy. And he was absolutely innocent of any wrongdoing. He was not like that at all. I've even helped the guy move, which that's when I kind of got worried. But we ended up going out. He even let us grab a beer, but he didn't like us drinking. He even got mad about it first, but we ordered a pitcher and just figured he wouldn't care. And he just let us have one each, and he was like, all right, that's it. He literally put the damn pitcher away. He was like a dad. He wasn't someone scary. I'm so lucky to have had that, because I couldn't imagine going to that idol and him telling me that in order for me to get where I want to go, I need to keep my mouth shut as he continuously abuses me. I could not imagine that kind of life. And when you're doing something that you love and this is the only way in, it really changes your outlook on those people themselves, and really makes you appreciate them more. So yeah.
Andy Geiger. Okay? I'm a freshman. I'm getting calls in my dorm room. 18 years old. They got me cut into 118. I weigh what I weigh now. Okay? Getting calls by homosexual men, panting on the phone, telling me they want to lick my toes.
Honestly, I think that kind of tells us enough. I don't really think we need to go any further than that. That is absolutely disgusting. And remember, he went to Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan was the one contacting him and telling him, basically crying over the phone, begging him not to do this. And the fact that this poor guy went to the legal department and they not only ignored him, but, treated him like dog shit. And I want to get to that little part because it was kind of I can't believe they're laughing at this shit.
But I got a lot of other stuff here.
All right. So anyway, he brought a lot more other proof. He wanted to talk about it, and it really seemed like they did not want to get into more of the minutia of it. I highly recommend you guys check out the case. It was really sad that he had to put himself through that, and so it wasn't just him, and it wasn't just for a couple of years. I mean, this went on for decades. So this is the final video we're going to watch and listen to how they looked at it and how they knew this shit was happening. And the school themselves did absolutely nothing to protect these kids. And this is the person that they're so hell-bent saying that Democrats trust more than anything. And Jake Tapper even laughed and said, Jim Jordan? Name one Democrat that trusts Jim Jordan. And what's her face? She had no fucking answer. She just said, I can't name them. She's full of shit. Nobody would represent him because we know who he is. And what's sick is that, you always know who these people are. And they never fucking get their comeuppance until it's far too late. But it seems to me a very strange fact that every time it's an old white guy, they seem to be able to die before they are destroyed. Whereas the black guy, they seem to destroy his career before he dies. I don't know. It seems like a really weird tip of the scale. And I've noticed the secrecy and the amount of secrecy that goes for different races. And to tell me there's no two-tier justice system is a goddamn lie.
When you come in and you got a scholarship at The Ohio State University, you don't want to start any problems.
I didn't do nothing, probably because I was scared.
These men, among others, say they were sexually abused by Richard Strauss, a former wrestling team doctor at Ohio State University. Their accounts, excerpted here, were captured on a video produced by one of the alleged victims. The 11-minute video obtained by NBC News was already edited from longer interviews. The allegations ranged from the doctor showering with the athletes to touching them inappropriately during appointments.
He would come and watch, at the time our guys showered a lot. I said, Doc, you make the guys nervous that you shower with them. And his response was, Coach, you shower with you guys all the time. I said, yeah, not for an hour, Doc.
The video helped spark an internal university investigation into Dr. Strauss. Ohio State has since received reports that Strauss abused athletes in 14 sports, the university said. University officials are not speaking about the investigation until it is complete. Although he was not mentioned or referenced in the video, it led to questions last week about Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, a former OSU wrestling coach. What did he know? One wrestler told NBC News that he reported alleged abuse to Jordan directly. Several other wrestlers told NBC News that Dr. Strauss's inappropriate behavior was discussed openly among the team, and Jordan had to know about it. Additional wrestlers have shared similar accounts with other news outlets. Jordan says he had no knowledge of any abuse or complaints from athletes.
I stood up to the Speaker of the House from my home state, stood up to the IRS, and have stood up to the FBI. To think that I would not stand up for my athletes is ridiculous.
That was probably one of the worst excuses I've ever heard, or whatever, for a lack of a better word. That's an excuse. I mean, again, it was just distraction, you know? You didn't address the problem. You obviously had to have heard shit. There's no fucking way you didn't hear anything after being there for the majority of his goddamn career. You're a goddamn liar. When you have actual staff members saying, no, we all knew about it and we were even talking to the guy. And then you see those guys crying and saying this should have never happened to anybody else. Those guys would be the kind that Trump would say, you know, big guy, you know, tears in his eyes. You know, like, these are big guys. These are tough dudes. And they have to live with that. And a lot of times, people don't understand that that's what makes some men very aggressive. And they don't ever want to be put in a position of weakness again. And it changes the way you should be looking at masculinity. And understand that sometimes it really isn't their fault. The balance of their own testosterone between their own guilt, because when you are a victim of this shit, now I don't like to claim myself as a victim of anything because of that. Because of those experiences that I've had myself, it made me angrier and it made me a lot more aggressive towards everyone else. And I had to learn to accept it. I had to learn that, you know, one day, I don't know what happened. It's just one day, everything fell on me. And just memories that I shoved so far back that I completely did not remember. All of them just flooded in. And I lost my fucking mind. And I can't begin to tell you how much respect I have for these people. And anybody that goes through that, please understand you're not alone. You're not. And I don't give a fuck how big you are, how fucking strong you are. You're human, and you have every fucking right to feel. All right? So, speaking of fifis, I want to say I love you guys. And so please be safe, be free, be yourselves. And I will see you on the other side. Most of all, please, first and foremost, stay cheesy, my friends.
Please note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. The ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? Take your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!